Okay.
Let's see her. Okay. Here you can see the tag. Okay. All right. How are we starting?
So first, we're gonna introduce ourselves. We'll be like, "I'm Misty."
I'm Anya. Welcome to the Situation of the Matter podcast. Today's Misty, you gotta talk.
I'm gonna talk over you. Today's topic is motherhood.
All right. So, Misty, I don't even know how podcasts go. So,
You just start talking.
okay. So, um, let me look and see. Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, we're gonna have to edit a lot of stuff. How old were you when you became a mother, and were you scared delivering your baby?
I was 18. I was not scared because I was too young and too ignorant to realize that I'm about to be responsible for a whole human being.
Why did you feel ignorant though?
Because I didn't really think about it. Like while I was pregnant, I didn't think about like what being a mother meant.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. So,
Um, do you think being a mother is your identity?
I think so. At this point, I really realized that it probably is my identity, which is sad because when Kraylin, who is my would have been my youngest, when he was getting ready to graduate, before I found out I was pregnant with Talia, um, I was having like a nervous breakdown. Like, what am I gonna do? I don't know how to be anything else but a mother. So part of me really feels like it is my identity. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I guess it depends on how you look at it.
I feel like it's kind of normal when you're like a present mother.
Yeah. Do you think it's your identity?
Um, yes, for I would say 95%. I mean, whenever the kids were little, I would say 1000%. But
Right.
now that they've gotten older and kind of have their own lives, I've kind of gotten to a point where my life still kind of revolves around them and the grandkids, but I've like learned that I have to do things for myself too,
Right.
which takes a long time to get there.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Uh, so,
Well, how old were you when you became a mother?
so I was 18 years old. No, I wasn't. I was 19. I had just turned 19.
Okay.
So I was 18 when I got pregnant, but I was 19 when I had my first. Um, and it was very scary pregnancy. So,
It was a scary pregnancy?
yes, because I had preeclampsia
Okay.
and she was born 2.5 months early.
Okay.
Um, her heart stopped. She stopped breathing inside. So I had to have an emergency C-section. And so being my first, it was a scary situation, but I made it okay.
Yeah, that is very similar to my first. Her heart didn't stop, but it did slow down.
Oh
So I
yeah.
had to have an emergency C-section too.
Were you early or was it on time or
My due date was June 21st. She was born June 24th, so it was really on time.
okay? That's a good. I mean, that's
And
good.
my 18-year-old brain, that was late because I was tired of being pregnant. I was like, it's the 21st. Where is she coming out?
You're like ready. I'm ready, which makes sense. I think we all get like that. We're ready to just have the baby already. Like, can you come?
Yeah, I mean, and then being like, I was like a smaller teenager, so like being pregnant, I really did feel like, okay, even though I was not big, but I was just felt like, I don't know, it just felt so big and like it was hard to do anything, like even sleeping. So I was just like, come on, get out of here.
Yeah, that may. Trust me, I understand. Because with Chanel, I actually delivered her. I was 140 pounds when I first got pregnant. I delivered Chanel at 360 pounds, all fluid. So
Oh,
imagine how huge. I mean, I was huge. My
see, mine was a mind thing because I was like the same. I was like 139 before I got pregnant, which I carry my weight different because that might sound like a lot for my height, but
right.
I was very thin. I was like 165 when I had her, so I didn't gain a ton of weight, but I had an old doctor and he was always talking about my weight, so he
They
was
want you to be
making
98 pounds,
yeah,
okay?
they do. So it was making me feel like, oh, I gotta get this weight off.
So was your second pregnancy easier than the first one?
The second pregnancy was, I would say, it was more difficult, just because of the situation,
Okay.
because of like the fathers of my children didn't make my life pleasant.
Mm.
And then actually, I always tell this story. Like whenever I had Xavier, I rode the bus. I rode the bus to my doctor's appointment, and I was by
Oh,
myself. So I was by myself at the hospital the entire day because I didn't choose well, but
it's all right. We live and we learn, right? That's part of
but
growing.
he wasn't. So he was supposed to be born on January 5th, but he did not have any more amniotic fluid, so he had to be taken out.
Okay.
He wasn't an emergency though, so I was still kind of awake.
Mhm.
I wasn't all the way unconscious when I had him, but I was not like fully conscious. So it was not as scary, but it
Mhm.
was still like I'm at this hospital by myself all day long, and I wasn't much older. I was 20.
Right.
So, but I mean, other than that, like the pregnancies being that young were not difficult. It
Mhm.
was just the after fact of having the kids, like raising two kids that young with not like sufficient help.
I understand truly what you said, but I
Yeah.
do understand.
Okay. Do you think you lost a part of your identity when you became a mom?
Mm, no, I think because I was so young having kids, I think that's really what my identity was. I mean, I made mistakes along the way. I was trying to find my identity, let's say that, because when I was young and the kids were smaller, I was going to clubs and parties and
Yeah,
stuff like
okay.
that. Because, I mean, I'm 18, 19, fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
I wasn't a party person in high school. I didn't go out and stuff like that. So as I got a little older, I wanted to experience that. But then at some point in my life, I realized that my kids are who I am and who I want to be.
Yeah.
And because I honestly enjoyed being with them. And even to this day, I enjoy being with them more than I enjoy being at a club or a party or something like that. Because when I'm out, I'm thinking like, what the kids doing?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I think my kids are pretty much my identity. Like, and but I still know who Anya is after all
Yeah.
these years. I know who I am, and I'm okay with who I am. But as far as the identity part, like I'm a mama. Like I love being a mama.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it.
I feel like my answer is kind of similar, except I didn't go out like finding a babysitter, all of
Hmm.
that. I hardly ever went out, but I do feel like it's the same. Like it was just so young. And when we were in high school, I did go out, like not to like clubs or whatever, but I
Hmm.
would go out with my friends, like riding around. So it I mean, if you're a present mom, I think it kind of there's no way around it
Right.
because it does consume so much of your time because especially when you're the primary parent and you have to do everything, like there's not really time to do anything else.
Yeah. And I grew a lot in
Yeah.
that time because I made a lot of mistakes. I was not a perfect mom with the kids when they were younger. My older three, I made a lot of mistakes. I depended on people who I shouldn't have. The lessons learned. You live, you learn, you grow. So you know,
I don't think anybody is a perfect mom. And then now the world that we live in, there's so much like mom shaming.
right?
And I think that's one thing that we can take for granted is when our kids were little, it wasn't on display for the world to see the
Yeah,
mistakes we were
the
making,
social media and
or everybody being like, well, you need to breastfeed, or you need to not put your kids in daycare, or you need to do this. Or, I mean, obviously, people close to you still have their opinions and would tell you, but it's not coming from the whole wide world.
right that unsolicited like
Yeah, even
okay.
from the people close to you, it's unsolicited. And sometimes you could be like, okay, I'll take their advice. And sometimes you'll just be like, no,
Yeah,
I'm not listening to that.
very very true. So, do you think girls or boys are easier to raise?
So I think with my kids and my experience,
Hmm.
it switches. Boys are so much more difficult when they're younger because they're so rowdy. They keep you on your toes, they keep you doing like whatever. And then girls, when they go through puberty,
Ooh. Oh, yes. Sorry, child of mine.
we already know how this goes. But I will say that I'm very, very blessed with good kids and they were good teenagers.
Right.
So when people are just like wait until they're teenagers. I'm like, I don't get what you mean. My kids were they weren't perfect, of course, but to me they were the perfect teenager because they went to school, they went to work, they didn't get in trouble at school, like
Right.
they weren't out like doing things, so they stayed focused. So with that, I'm very blessed with that.
Yeah, that's about the same. I mean, I feel blessed because my oldest three, Talia's four, so I really don't. I would say my older three, I was blessed with them because they really were good kids, and they still are good kids. I mean,
Hmm.
good adults. So it makes me proud as a mom because I know some parents when their kids are 13, 14, and don't get me wrong, I had my issue with one of them. Sorry, child of mine, but we nothing that it was like, oh my gosh, I'm worried about her going to jail or oh, I just told who it was. But nothing that I was concerned about her getting into major trouble. It was just other little things, but and it wasn't where I was like, oh my God, I can't sleep at night because she's not home because she was at home every day,
Hmm.
every night. But she just had her little moments, and that's fine. I love it, and I love the experience, and I love that we got to a great point. And she's great. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's just for girls, it's just normal. Their puberty hormones and their, I mean, we went through it too. Like,
I didn't.
I mean, I didn't,
I,
I
I,
was scared to talk back to my mom because we would have gotten in trouble, but like the things we thought in our head, I think our kids are just a little bit more free than we were, like from generation to generation. You just get more comfortable,
I
I
didn't.
think.
I think I was the probably the my cousins, not my mom, but they used to say I was mean. Other than that, but I didn't get in trouble. I didn't want to go out. Like I was like still in high school playing with Barbie dolls.
No, she didn't get in trouble either. It was just like the hormones and
And I
like
didn't
the
talk back to my mama because my mama was this parent that said she was like this from the when we were younger. She would always say, "I wish you would try me. I got a casket," and she always told my brothers they were gonna be buried in a blue suit with a blue casket, and I'm gonna be wearing a pink dress and a pink baby
oh,
casket.
and that's your
So we
mama
already
threatening
knew don't come with
you.
the drama with Miss Sylvia because she did not play. So and to this day, and I'm 46, I still like, yeah. I try to test her just a little bit, but I'm still very respectful of my mom, because I know
Hmm.
what she went through with us, so for us. But so, um, let me see. Sorry. What has been the most rewarding part of your motherhood journey?
I think the most rewarding part is the bond that I've had with my kids.
Yeah,
That and then just watching them to grow up and be like successful and kind and caring adults and not letting the things of the world get into how they do things.
right. That makes sense. That's a good thing. I mean, that's ultimately what we want is I think that is for me too, like rewarding is it makes you smile when you look at your kids and you can say,
Yeah.
I did that. Those are
Yeah.
mine. And then when you get grandkids and
Mhm.
you get to be in their world because there's so many people I think who didn't have that relationship
Yeah.
with their kids or they made mistakes and they were too prideful to go back and fix those mistakes that they
Mhm.
made as a mom that they don't even have the opportunity to be part of their children's future as far as like grandkids and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
and
but we
that's
are
sad.
blessed that we get to love on our grandbabies.
Yeah. And okay. What advice would you give another mom who may be dealing with real mom emotions or just everyday motherhood guilt?
Ugh. So I would just like give yourself some grace and just I mean if you are spiritual or if you have like good friends or just someone you can talk to, just reach out to that person. Don't feel like you're in it alone or find a writing is great, for relief.
Mhm.
But just give yourself grace. We all make mistakes. We have all made mistakes. There is no such thing as a perfect mother. And to just remember that you're doing your best and the kids don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
They think you're superwoman and you can be falling apart. And I always say to myself, I'm gonna cry in the shower, but when I get out, those tears are gonna dry like my body.
I would say kind of the same thing. I do think crying in front of your kids is okay as
It
long
is.
as it's not like all the time because I think that's important that they see it's okay to feel your emotions.
Right.
It's normal to be sad sometimes. It's normal to be happy sometimes. It's normal to be upset sometimes. I think sometimes though when we're not letting that outlet, sometimes it gets taken out on the kids. Like we
Yeah.
overreact to like something that they're doing. So sometimes it is you do need to let them know like hey I'm having a hard time right now. You don't need to like tell them the details of it
Right.
because your kids do not need to know everything about you.
No, I agree.
But they do need to know like I mean even from like our perspective when we're kids I think that we forget that our parents are human beings and I think even like with our kids sometimes they might forget like that she's just a human being like this is our first time on earth too. This is
Right.
our first time being a parent and I would also say like you have to give yourself that time away from your kids if you're married away from your husband you have to take that time for yourself.
But what if you are a parent and a lot of, as a single mom, you don't have anyone to help you take that, to get that outlet that you need, like to go out and do something for yourself, even if it's just like taking yourself out to lunch. Because I used to do that. I would just go out to lunch by myself. But what if you're like that parent? Because there are parents, which is sad, that they don't have any support, like mothers. I mean, even single dads, we can, but.
Well, there are a lot of Mother's Day out programs.
Hmm.
So you just need to look like in your community and see where those are. It's for a couple of hours. They'll watch them. Some of them are free and some of them are very cheap. Like when my kids were younger, they used to have it at the gymnastics place every Friday. I
Okay.
would take them there. That gives me 3 or 4 free hours to myself. They're having fun. I'm not worried about like what they're doing. I know where they're at. I know they're fine. It was like $11 a kid. Like no matter how much money you do or don't have, you can it's worth it to spend that just to reset so that you
Right.
could be your best self for your kids.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's a good thing. I mean, that's a good tip. So, hey, Mother's Day out, look them up. I don't know if they have them now or if they're
They do.
still cheap. I mean, I know they have them, but if they're still affordable because,
I think if you look at like some churches or like religious
right.
places, they do them for free. So
Okay.
just like look in your community. If you have like other like mom friends, ask them.
Girl, they trying to get rid of them. We said, hey, girl, you take them.
No, I mean ask them like that
Oh,
Mother's Day
okay. I
out
thought you were saying
program.
let them take them.
Not even do a play date so your kids can go play and then you can have some adult
That's
time.
true. Very, very true. Okay.
Okay. I kind of answered this one, but do you think that it's okay to let your kids see you cry?
Mm, so I'm about a 50, I'm 50-50 with this because I think it depends on the child. Okay. So like Talia, this is the youngest one that I have, my 4 year old. I would not let her see me cry because she she's very intuitive. Like
Yeah.
she reads, she can read anyway, like what if I'm feeling some type of way. But she would carry my emotions with her.
Okay.
So I'm very cautious on her seeing me get over emotional because she'll say, I'm sorry, mommy.
Oh,
Or
okay.
she'll feel like it's something that she's done wrong. And it could have nothing to do with her, which 99% of the time it has nothing to do with her. But she would take that on as something that
Yeah.
she needed to deal with. And I never want her to feel like that. So for her, no. But say my older three, yeah, I probably when they were younger, I probably would cry in front of them because they were a little different.
Yeah.
They were just a little different than her. They could deal with me crying, but I don't even think I really allowed myself to cry in front of them. Not that I see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I just always wanted to be strong for them. But I do let them know that it's okay for you to get emotional. Everyone gets emotions.
Mm.
It's that's okay. I don't want them to think it's not okay, but I just think sometimes I just need to deal with it alone.
I think
And
it depends on like what it is. Like,
right,
and sometimes you can't control it. Like sometimes you're like, I don't want to cry, I don't want to cry, but you just can't
right,
stop it. You can't hold it back. But I get what you're saying. Like with Talia, with the smaller kids, like
yeah,
they carry that with them, and especially if they have like an anxious type of personality,
right,
they are like what you said. Because even Layla, she's like that too. She's like She always says, "Are you exhausted?" Like if I'm, that's not what she means, but I know what she
Right.
means. She means, or like you having a bad day. She just says, "Are you exhausted?" Like if she feels your energy off.
Yeah.
So that I feel like when they're that little, it depends. Like sometimes you still can't control it, and you just have to be like, "No, it's not because of you. It just it happens sometimes."
Yeah, it does.
And that's what I came from a mother who like cried about everything.
Mhm.
So sometimes I would be like, I don't want to cry about everything, but I don't, also don't want to not ever cry just
Right.
because. And like some people, they make you feel bad for crying, and I just want my kids to have like a healthy understanding of like feeling your emotions. If you need to cry, sometimes cry. If you want to cry in front of people, go ahead. If you don't, go cry in the shower.
Yeah.
But you don't have to bottle that stuff up and like let it out. But my one thing is let it out and move on. Don't stick on it. Like
Yeah.
don't stay on it.
I'm big on that. I will cry in the shower. Now I'm gonna tell you, I have breakdowns in that shower.
And I mean,
I
I
really do.
get
I will have a nervous crying breakdown in the shower. And it's just me being vulnerable right now. But I cry about things that and there's things that I know I have no control over or
mhm.
things that I'm working on. But it's just me feeling like, am I failing as a mom? Am I failing myself? So I do cry. I will have a moment in the shower. And I love it because I get out the shower and I'm reset,
Yeah.
but I because I didn't hold on to it. I let it out and I pray and I'm good. Like
Yeah. And
I'm good to
that's what
go.
I feel like is healthy. Like you're letting it out.
Yeah.
You're not like burdening other people around you like with it. Not that it's a burden like to vent to somebody, but you know some people are. And then, but then like we just can't stay. And then that's with anything. Like you can't stay there.
So, did you have a village with your children? And if so, did the village help you or did they hinder you?
That's kind of a tricky question. So I was mostly on my own.
Mhm.
Um, Mackenzie's grandma, she did help some, like here and there. And then my mom, she helped some here and there too, but they're also wanting to live their own life. So the vast majority of the responsibility was on me.
Okay.
So, and then when it comes to like, getting them to school, getting them to activities, like as they got a little bit older, that was 100% on me.
Mm.
And like, I mean, if I told my mom I needed help, she was gonna come and help. Like, if it was picking them up from school, but she lived out of town sometimes, so kind of, but not really. Not like
Okay.
some people who like they just have access to help when they snap their fingers.
I for me, I was I'm gonna be honest. I was blessed and cursed
Okay.
with a village. I had someone who helped me with my older two. It's not good because, like I said earlier, I was finding myself. I was going to clubs, so I like I said, I made mistakes. I left my kids a little longer sometimes than I should have. But that person was supposed to be helping me, and it actually turned out just wasn't a good thing because they used that
Mm,
against me to try to just stuff that I feel like that they needed to were having their own fighting their own demons,
mhm.
and they were able to use my kids as part of their fight.
Okay.
And I don't want to get too into it. My mama told me it was okay to get into it, but it's not about my mom.
No, I didn't think it was
But
about your mom.
um, I'm choosing not to. But if you know me and you know like some of the what I'm talking about, you would understand a little more. But yeah, but I did. I'm grateful that I had the people that I did to help me with my kids. I just like I said, it was a lot of mistakes that I allowed, a lot of mistakes that I made, and just I allowed people to be more in control of my children than I was,
Okay.
and it came back a little bit to bite me, but then I got real and I woke up, and like I said, I was living and learning and finding my identity as Anya
Mm.
outside of the motherhood part, and I was like, get my kids and I'm gone.
I think that's part of why I didn't ask a lot of people for help because I think it's human nature. Or not everybody, but like if people do favors for you to throw it back in your face,
Yeah.
it's not coming from the goodness of their heart. And I learned that very young. So
Yeah.
so like asking people like outside of my mom. Like even my mom, it wasn't. I didn't ask her to help me a lot. But like if I asked somebody to help me, it was because I really needed you to. Like I
Right,
was
right,
at work or they needed to get something. Like sometimes my kids would need lunch money and I couldn't get it to them right then.
right.
So like things like that. But like as far as like watching them so I could go out.
And see, that was my thing. I was just like I say, I was a nerd. I didn't do anything young, so I was like, oh, I feel like I'm missing something. But I'm grateful that I was able to make those mistakes
Yeah.
and to learn from what I did because it just to me made me a better person. It made me be able to be a better mom. So I mean, would I change some things? Yes, but sometimes you just have to go through things as well. So.
But let me back up a little bit because my brother did help as they got older.
Mhm.
Like if I wanted to go like out for the weekend, he would watch them, but he had a rule that they have to be potty trained before he'll babysit.
You sound like my brother.
So he would help like if I wanted to go out and like he stepped in when he didn't have to, especially to be a male that doesn't have any kids. Like
Right.
he would take them, he would take my niece and nephew, he would take them on vacation. Like he really stepped in for his nieces and nephews. And he
That's a
even does
blessing.
for the girls still. So
Yeah. And it wasn't bad. And I'm grateful for it. But it wasn't the whole life. It was just like that early part of their young life.
yeah.
But,
I mean, you were
we're
so
good.
young too.
We're good. I mean, like I said, I'm good. um, what was I gonna say? In your definition, and we only have about 6 more minutes. In your definition or in your opinion, what your definition of mom, mother, and what makes a good mom or mother?
So to me, a good mom, a good mother, somebody who's there and present for their kids, is teaching them how to live life without her and teaching them like how to survive in the world and teaching them like to be kind and to not worry about like other people's opinions.
That's good. And what is one thing you want your kids to take with them from you that they've learned from you?
I would want them to take to be kind. Like we don't always have to say what we're thinking. And that they were my priority. Like for I mean even to this day, they're still my priority. So I would want them to know like no matter what, if nobody else in this world loved you, I loved you more than anything.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's perfect. So, in my opinion, a definition of a mom or a mother, and I say mom or mother. I don't know. I always say mom, mother because I think mom is a term of endearment,
Yeah.
and mother is just who you are. Is what you are.
That's your title.
So, mom, I think is just someone who is just there for them, who who will be there outside of anyone else. Like you can always turn on them. Just say you love them unconditionally, and you just you sacrifice. It's just the sacrifices that you have, and they're like your friends, but your mom is your friend, but she ain't your friend. You
Your
know the
mom first and then
yeah.
your friend.
Yeah, so I just think that's the definition, and I just always want my kids to know that I love them. I'm always proud of them, and that they absolutely have like my entire heart outside of my grandkids stuff.
That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject. So next time on Situation of the Matter, we will go more in depth about ourselves, some of our life journeys, experiences. We don't have a topic yet, but
We
coming
will.
soon. Oh, I don't know. Listen, we got to come up with an ending.